You show up to almost every relationship, whether friend, family, or romantic partner, like you have to earn your place there. You feel like you always have to have something to give, something to prove, or something to earn. You plan the event. You fill every silence, because somewhere deep down you believe a terrible equation that to be perfect is to be accepted. To be useful all the time is to be loved. And anything that threatens that equation, any moment where you just exist without offering something or don't meet everyone's expectation, feels like abandonment waiting to happen. So you perform, you produce, you do anything but be. Be without performance. Be without having to meet a standard, without having to demonstrate that you're worthy of love. Being feels dangerous. Being feels vulnerable. Being feels risky and like you're giving people a reason to leave. The most satisfying relationships, they're not built on transaction, but on something much simpler. Today, I'm introducing you to purposeless presence and why mastering this one concept could transform every friendship and relationship you have. Let's talk about what you're really doing when you show up to every relationship, overthinking ways you feel you need to contribute. When you're constantly in doing mode instead of being mode, so you're planning the next thing to say, you're thinking about what you can offer, you're managing how you come across, your brain is literally in a state of stress. Research shows that performance pressure in social contexts triggers chronic activation of your stress response system. You're exhausting yourself before the coffee has even arrived. So how much can you really give of yourself? Conversely, brain imaging shows that when you're simply just being, your brain changes too, but in a different way. The regions associated with authentic self-expression, they light up. The areas linked to anxiety and self-monitoring, though, they quiet down. And that gives you space to shift from performing to actually connecting. So when you're overthinking, you're not actually connecting with people. You're stuck in this perpetual audition mode. Studies also show that when your self-worth depends on constantly contributing, you're more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and ironically, lonelier relationships. You're working so hard to earn your place that you never actually take it. If you watched my video on breaking perfectionist friendship patterns, you know about the earning trap that I talk about there. That belief that you must constantly prove your value. Well, purposeless presence is an antidote to this. So what is this purposeless presence that I've mentioned? Purposeless presence means showing up with nothing to prove, no entertainment to provide, you have no gifts to offer and no problems to solve, just you being present with another human being. Margaret Clark's groundbreaking research at Yale has shown something profound. It's shown us that relationships work in two different ways. There's exchange relationships, which are transactional, i.e. I do this and then you do that and we're keeping score. And then there's communal relationships, and they operate on a totally different principle. It's where care flows from genuine concern, not obligation. There's no ledger, there's no one keeping track, there's no Excel spreadsheet. When you're constantly contributing to prove your value and gain acceptance, you're not letting people see who you really are, and you're not letting yourself see who you really are. You're only showing them what you can do and how you can perform. And who you are is very different and not the same as what you can do and how you can perform. So how do you actually do this when every cell in your body is screaming to perform and that you're not doing enough and you've got to prove? Well, I want to share 3 very simple practices with you today. The first one is called the empty-handed arrival. So next time you meet with a friend, show up with nothing. No drink, no snacks, no conversation topics already prepared, just you, and notice the discomfort. That is your nervous system recalibrating. Something called social baseline theory shows that when we stop performing, our brains actually become more efficient at connecting, like I mentioned earlier. As much as you might feel like you're being lazy, you're actually creating space for real connection by doing this. Practice 2 is the silent sit. So when there's a pause in conversation, don't fill it, just let the silence exist. pressure doesn't always have to be on you to fill the silences. Research on interpersonal mindfulness shows that these pauses move you away from performing at each other and instead create what scientists call interpersonal resonance, which is when two people's brain activity starts to sync up during a meaningful interaction, particularly in areas that are responsible for understanding emotions and intentions. And so this means you or the person you're with are more likely to fill the silence with something real. Think of it like this. When you're performing or filling a silence with chatter, your brain and the other person's brain are operating independently, almost like two radios on different stations. But in moments of purposeless presence, especially during silences, your brains start to tune into the same frequency, and therefore you just start noticing more about the other person. The third practice is a purpose-free hangout plan, and that's where you spend time with someone with literally no plan. There's no activity, no restaurant, and no agenda planned at all. It's just hanging out with each other. And you might panic about this and think, what if we don't have anything to talk about? What if it feels awkward? But that's exactly the point. When you remove the structure, you create space for whatever wants to emerge. So drop a comment below, which of these practices scares you the most? That's probably the one that you need to try. Let's be honest about what you're really afraid of. It's not just the silences. It's not showing up empty-handed. The deeper fear is if you're not useful, you'll be abandoned. Maybe you learned early that love had conditions, that being helpful and achieving meant being safe, that performing meant belonging. So now purposeless presence feels dangerous because it breaks the deal you think you've made with the world. But when people experience unconditional acceptance, being valued for who they are, not what they do, different neural pathways activate in our brains. The regions associated with safety and social reward light up. You feel more secure when you stop performing. What's more, when you finally stop performing, something beautiful happens. You can actually hear people better. My favorite definition of true listening is by someone called Oscar Trimboli, and he defines true listening as when you listen to someone without knowing what you're going to say until they finish talking. How hard is that? Normally when someone is talking, we're already planning what we're going to be saying back, but you can't really listen truly when your brain is doing that, frantically searching for the perfect response, the best comeback, the most helpful solution, just to prove your worth and your value. When the constant hum of needing to prove yourself quiets down, you create space to truly receive what others are sharing with you. The most generous thing you can give someone isn't your perfection, it's your presence. Thank you for being here with me today. I'm on a mission to help you detach your self-worth from your achievements and external validation, so that you can build true bonds and real meaningful connection. I recommend you watch my video, How to Break Free from Perfectionist Friendship Patterns, next, because it shows you why you got trapped in performance mode and how to break free. So see you in my next video. In the meantime, keep mastering what matters most.